This is 13 News Now.
Well, Hampton Roads dodged a bullet with Hurricane Irma, but another storm remains in the Atlantic. Thank you for watching 13 News Now at noon. I'm Andre Sr.
And I'm Lucy Bustamante. Hurricane Jose is barely a Cat 1 right now, but we still want to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, so meteorologist Tim Pandagis is here with more on the storm's latest track. Hey, Tim.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, Jose, obstacle after obstacle has come over it, and it's still holding its own at a Category 1, although barely, but continues to really show some strength there in terms of its thunderstorm activity around the center there. It is going through some very dry air and also very strong wind shear that's going to kind of slow it down and eventually weaken it to a Category 1 storm, which is where it's at now, then eventually a tropical storm. Has a weird loop-de-loop going on here, but eventually tracks it off to the northwest and then off to the north and northeast. Right now, that's the most likely solution, but we'll watch and see what happens as we get into next week. So here's what's going on. An area of high pressure here. What you're looking at, by the way, is the upper-level winds or the jet stream. We have an area of high pressure to the west of Jose right now and off towards the east-northeast, a trough, and that's going to steer it and eventually push it off towards the north. Once it gets past Sunday, from there, models get very, very uncertain in terms of where it goes. Could go closer to the coastline or could go straight out to sea, which would be the most likely option. But we'll have to wait and see what happens by the time we get to that point there, if it just sits and meanders off the coastline or just goes straight out to sea. In the meanwhile, a lot of hurricanes have done this little loop-de-loop thing in the past, and most recently and most impactful was Ivan. Back in 2004, it actually made 2 separate landfalls, and it had a huge loop that it went through here. Also, that affected our area was Dennis back in 1999 and Betsy in 1965. So that's something to note there. We'll talk more about our forecast here in the short term and what to expect in the next few days in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, Tim, thank you. And now to a developing story. A Portsmouth school board member arrested.
She's charged with obstructing justice, and we've learned this is not her first run-in with the law. 13 News Now obtained court documents about the latest charge.
And Elise Brown is here with what she has collected. Hi, Elise.
Hey there, Lucy and Andre. In 2004, Lakeisha Atkinson was charged with uttering in Virginia Beach, but pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of obtaining money by false pretense. Now Portsmouth police say this new incident happened less than a week ago. And just minutes ago, we heard from Atkinson thanking the community for their support, saying she knows she'll be vindicated in court. A Portsmouth school board member in hot water. Lakeisha Atkinson is facing an obstruction of justice charge over a September 9th incident on Randolph Street. According to court documents, police say Atkinson got in the way of an investigation. A Portsmouth officer says 2 people were in police custody over a stolen vehicle. The officer alleges Atkinson went up to the 2 individuals and asked one person their age. The officer says Atkinson was asked to back away from the people in custody, to which she questioned why. The document went on to say the officer had to put their hand on Atkinson's shoulder to move her away. Police allege the school board member delayed the investigation. According to her bio on the district's website, Atkinson has a passion for, quote, giving back to her community, volunteering, and injustice. The school district declined to comment. Atkinson is due back in court on September 22nd. Live in the studio, Elise Brown, 13 News Now.
Sure to see some more information develop from the story in the coming days here. Well, the Navy's 4 public shipyards, including Norfolk Naval Shipyard in Portsmouth, are facing some serious scrutiny now.
So a new report from the Government Accountability Office says that they are in such bad shape that they are not meeting the Navy's operational needs. The report says that the shipyards have a $4.8 billion backlog of repairs and renovations. And that work, if they were to start it, would take 20 years to complete. Navy officials say they are aware of the problems and are working to, quote, increase capacity. If you want to see the full report, you can head to 13newsnow.com.
Well, noon after getting out of the hospital, a man is charged for an accident he was involved in. Johnny Alexander is charged with involuntary manslaughter. Police say he was driving a vehicle when he smashed into another car in Chesapeake. It happened on Military Highway and Engle Avenue. Randy Walker of Portsmouth was driving the vehicle. She died at the scene. Police are still investigating the cause of the crash. Well, a local group is protesting a natural gas pipeline that's getting closer to being a done deal in Virginia.
So it's happening at Governor McAuliffe's Department of Environmental Quality office in Virginia Beach. The group is protesting fracking and those planned pipelines in Virginia.
Stephen Graves is reporting live in Virginia Beach this afternoon. This event is part of a statewide protest, Stephen.
Yeah, guys, it is a big effort. Multiple cities across the state right now. This is a prayer vigil right behind me. The actual program says "Blessing of the Water," and the reason why is here at the Department of Environmental Quality. You can see about 24 people are here gathering. They want to send a message to Governor Terry McAuliffe. They're actually praying for him, saying that they want him to deny a water permit, a big water permit that would permit this pipeline from going forward, going through people's yards in Chesapeake and Suffolk. And here we can see the signs that are on the ground. You can see some reasons why. They say water is sacred. They're connecting the natural disasters of Katrina, Sandy, and Harvey to pipelines and how that may have an impact. And now we're going to come over here and talk to the leader of the Chesapeake Climate Action Network. Her name is Quan Baker. Now, Quan, as we were talking earlier about this before, talk to me about the importance of doing this here in Virginia Beach.
This is really important because this is the last step that we can take before that they either approve or deny these permits, and then after this, construction starts for these pipelines. So if this is the biggest action that we could take to get to get us as the people to say, listen, we need these permits to be denied. And if you're not going to deny them, then actually conduct the research to make sure that they're going to be safe when they run through our waterways and rivers.
And now this is very close to happening, the final big permit. It seems so close to happening, so why put effort into this?
Because it is close, but, it's not past due. We're not too late. We've got to put as much pressure as we can, just because it is so close.
Okay. All right, and we'll, of course, explain much more about what goes into this. Catch the full stories tonight, starting on 13 News Now at 4. For now, reporting in Virginia Beach, I'm Stephen Graves, 13 News Now.
These issues can sometimes be volatile. Stephen, thank you so much. Well, the images of flooding in Florida and Texas are stunning. We've been showing you pictures like what you're about to see here for weeks now. Cars and trucks inundated with water. And now we've got a warning for you. Some of those cars could end up resold without you knowing about it. So we talked to a local mechanic. William Adams warns you should be cautious buying a used car over the next few months.
Ask questions. Have things checked over. Take it somewhere and have somebody look at it. Get another opinion. Research the title a little bit. Do a Carfax on it. See if it shows any recent title changes in the last few months.
Well, we checked with Consumer Reports, and they say to check the carpets. Inspect difficult to clean places like gaps under the hood and around the engine. That's because there still might be mud and debris there, so you'll be able to tell. You can also check to see if the seat mounting screws and rubber drain plugs have been recently removed. We'll have more on the aftermath of Hurricane Irma coming up in just a few minutes.